Hi everybody, I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today we're going to take a look at some pieces that I picked up recently. I did purchase a lot of brooches and pins as well as a few pieces from my local antique store. So the pieces I found locally, maybe I'll start with this piece here. Now this was just a few dollars and I just thought it was beautiful. This is a mother of pearl beaded necklace. It's quite long and there is no clasp. But I do like these types of necklaces when I find them in any sort of genuine gemstone or mother of pearl, shell, coral, something like that. I do pick them up because I think that they're beautiful and certainly worth more than just a few dollars. So that is the first thing I found. The next item, I found this bangle bracelet in a booth at my local antique store, and they only had it marked for $10, which I immediately recognized this as Bakelite, so I thought that that was a pretty good deal, and I did test it and confirmed that it is in fact Bakelite. And I don't actually have this color Bakelite bangle. I have an orange, I have a yellow, I have one that's more on like the brownish tone side, but I did not have this green creamed spinach color in my collection, so I thought this was a great pickup for $10. And then I found this little guy sitting in a glass case, and you know, I do like bug jewelry. I find them to be really, really charming and really adorable. And when I saw this little guy and I flipped him over, I could tell that he was a bit older. And when I got him home, I did test him, and he is actually carved Bakelite. So we have this little beetle, I suppose. It does appear that there may have been some sort of darker colored paint on sort of the shell of his body that has worn off a little bit, but you can still see the little carved details, and I just loved his little antenna and his little legs. So he is carved Bakelite, and this was only $12, which I thought, again, was a really good deal for Bakelite. And he's really, really adorable. Now, this next piece I have seen in the case there for a few months, and every time I go, I look at it. So when I saw it there this time, I just thought, you know what, every time I come in here, I look at this, maybe it's time I grab it. So I did purchase it this time, and I knew that it probably wasn't complete. So this is all hand-blown glass. As you can see, you have these really adorable little birds and these little clear pieces, which I think are meant to be some sort of fruit, and our little glass leaves. Now, I do think some of the birds' beaks are missing. None of them are sharp, like they do feel smooth, but I think that they would have had beaks more like this bird here. So I do think we're missing a few tiny pieces, and I think we're missing a few of the leaves. And this one does not have a clasp, so I do think that's something I could pretty easily add, just a little spring ring clasp onto this. But I just thought it was really adorable, and like I said, I've seen it there a couple of times and it has always caught my eye. So this time when I got it home, I did do a Google image search, and I found that this is actually a Venetian glass necklace, and I do see these in a complete version online for close to $200. So of course this one is missing some pieces, so I really don't know what the value would be, but I just think the little birds are adorable. I love the little glass fruit pieces there in the clear glass. Yeah, so I will add a clasp onto this to make this wearable at least, but it's just kind of going in my collection for now while I figure out what to do with it. It was fun to research it anyway and find out that it was something interesting. My eye had been drawn to it, so it was kind of nice to find out what it was finally. And then next, I did pick up another piece of Dragon's Breath glass. So I love Dragon's Breath glass. I've been purchasing quite a bit of it. If I find it for a steal, I will grab it. And this one was a steal. Just a really simple Dragon's Breath ring on a sterling band. I just love the glow and fire of this glass, and that is why I have been collecting it recently. I do have it all displayed together in a curio cabinet right now, and I just love the way it looks. So I have been wearing my pieces, and just so beautiful. This one's really simple. Yeah, just a really beautiful one. There's a lot of fire in this one for being such a small, simple stone. Next, at that same antique store, this was $2, and I just thought it was beautiful. It's not marked, just a gold tone, a brushed gold tone with a little bit of polished gold tone as well. I just loved the little cherub figural face, really beautiful floral design, and it's in really perfect condition. I don't see any real wear to the gold tone, so I grabbed this for a few dollars just because I liked how it looked. piece. This is another one that has been in the case at my antique store for a while, and I've passed it by a couple times, but it was 50% off this particular booth the last time I went, so I finally did pick this up. I think I paid around $10 for it, and I knew that it was a little bit older. It does have a C-clasp here, and this is molded glass. And then when I got home, I did a little test, and it is in fact uranium glass. So this shines really, really brightly. You can see how much that this glows. So that's kind of a fun pickup. I bought it just because I liked it. I didn't recognize it as uranium glass when I purchased it, but kind of a fun surprise. And then next we have this sterling silver Victorian brooch, and you can see already from the front how long the pin is here, but we have some really beautiful etching in the center, and this one was hallmarked. So at the very top there you can see the anchor and the lion. I think this is Birmingham hallmarks. I can't make out the letter, which would give us the exact date, so I'm gonna have to take a closer look at that. I haven't looked up the date mark yet just because I can't make it out. And at the very bottom here, it is marked B and L, which I assume is a maker. So I'll have to do a bit more research on this, but it has the tube hinge, which does look like it has been resoldered, and a C catch, but really beautiful. And I thought that I could potentially wear this on my sterling Victorian book chain necklace that I picked up recently. I thought this might look really nice on that piece. So I've not tried it on yet. I just picked this up, but yeah, just a pretty Victorian silver brooch. And here we have another sterling silver brooch or pin, and it has a really beautiful piece of purple glass, I believe. As you can see, it's clear on the top, and I think it's just kind of a foil-backed piece of glass. It is marked silver on the back and also on the catch here. Really simple, but I just thought it was really beautiful. And this one does actually have a little loop here so that it could be worn as a pendant vertically, which I thought was interesting. But really, really pretty, a really sweet filigree pattern on this one. The next we have this beautiful brooch, which I believe is a mourning brooch. I think we have a combination of materials here. I think we have some jet as well as some black glass. I'm gonna have to do some more research on this. I did do a scratch test, and this does come up sort of that brown color that you expect from jet, but I know that there's many different materials that were used in these mourning jewelry pieces, so will require a little more research, I think, to confirm 100%. So here's what the back looks like. It is a bit dirty, but you can see we do have a tube hinge here as well as a C clasp. I just thought it was really beautiful. So we have that one, and then the other mourning brooch. This one I actually like even more, mainly just because of this really beautiful floral bouquet here. It's really raised, so it's nice and three-dimensional, and the setting here is actually sterling silver. So it was not marked, but I did do a scratch test on it just before this video, and it does test as sterling. We have a tube hinge and a C catch there. And you know, as I was looking at the back of this, I think there's remnants of old glue, and then these little holes. So I don't know if that was somebody testing the material in the past. I really don't know. This was only a few dollars, so I thought it was worth investigating. I wasn't sure that this was silver when I purchased it. I just bought it because I liked the look of this. So I think this is potentially jet as well. It does scratch that brown color. It has a little bit of a sticky feel to the surface, but it definitely needs to be cleaned up. And again, if you look into the holes there, it's a little bit of a brown colored material, so I'm not entirely sure. But either way, a really beautiful sterling brooch, a nice large size, and I just really loved sort of the high relief carving here. Really interesting, I thought. We have this piece. I just liked the sort of crescent moon and love knot design of this one. There is some etching on these little crescent pieces to the sides. And here's what the back looks like. We again have a tube hinge and a C clasp. We have the remnants of some stickers and things on the back side here. And I'm not sure if this is gold filled that it has worn, or if this is pinchbeck, which is a metal that I'm learning about. I just have learned that term, so I'm not sure, but it looks to have a shinier gold finish on the back, and then the front is a bit more worn. So I'm not sure, but I do think it is Victorian and older, and I just really liked the design of it. Not in perfect condition, definitely has some wear to it, but cool, I thought. Okay, and then the next pieces, I purchased a lot of these little bar pins on eBay. So I shared these stick pins with you in a previous video, so we're not gonna go through those, but these bar pins and a few of these on this side are the new pieces. Okay, so the first one here is this really beautiful sterling silver and white stone piece here. And this one is marked sterling on the back. Then here is what our clasp looks like. So we do have a safety catch, so I know that it is not as old as some of the brooches we have just been looking at, some of the morning pieces, but really beautiful, I thought. And this whole lot, so I think there was 10 pins total, and I paid $40 for this whole lot. And there were a few standout pieces, at least in the photos, that made me purchase it, and I thought I would at least get my money back if I were to ever sell the pieces, so I went ahead and grabbed it. Now this one I love. This one definitely has that Victorian aesthetic. Here is what the back looks like. We have a C-clasp there. Again, not sure on material. Perhaps this is gold-filled, and just a glass stone in the center there, but really beautiful. This one has a nice size, more of a brooch size compared to some of the smaller pins we have there, but really beautiful. Next we have this piece. So this one is a gold medal with black enameling detail. I really love the look of this enamel and sort of the geometric pattern and design of this one. And this one did have a marking on the back. I believe that is M, B, and E. So I need to do research onto who that is, but some type of manufacturer or jeweler's mark. Then next we had this one. This is one of the ones that I really loved in the photos. So this is a guilloche enamel bar pin. I loved the floral design and the really beautiful greens and blues set against that white background. Just beautiful. And here is what that back looks like. I love this one. So, so pretty. And the enamel is actually in really, really great shape. Sometimes I see enamel like this, especially the white enamel where it has discolored over time, but this one has held up very well, I think. Really, really nice. Okay, next we have this piece, which I love the simple little floral design. I think it's really, really sweet and charming. It does have these little prongs holding this front piece in place. Then here is what the back of this one looks like. Again, not sure of the metal on this one as well. It definitely is a really bright gold tone color. It doesn't look like gold filled to me, but some sort of metal with these really tiny enamel light blue flowers. Just really adorable. Next we have this piece, which is very interesting. We have these rhinestones and some colored metal, which maybe is some worn enamel or paint. Not quite sure. And these little rhinestones do have these rivets on the back, which is interesting, holding the prongs in place, I believe. And here is what the back looks like. This one kind of reminds me of Christmas. We have the red and green colors there. Definitely has some wear on this one. And then this one was also in the lot. We have some green rhinestones on a brass pin. Here's what the back of that one looks like. This one is nice and simple, just glass rhinestones, I believe. Then we have this enameled piece. This one's interesting because it's a much thicker pin. This one has more of a safety pin catch to it, so maybe this was meant to be worn on a much thicker clothing, or it may have served some other purpose, which probably some of you watching know. So if you do know what this type of pin was used for, please let me know in the comments. I'm really trying to learn about vintage and antique pieces. But this was just included in the lot, and I thought it was beautiful. That really beautiful feminine floral enameling up on top here. And this tiny little lace pin was in the lot as well. This has some black enameling on the front and some really beautiful etched designs. And here's what the back looks like. So we do have a tube hinge as well as a C-clasp there. Love that one as well. And then this one was a surprise. So this was in that little lot as well. I saw it in the photos, but I didn't really notice it. It's really small. It's got this really beautiful little pearl and this leaf design in this crescent almost shape. And when I turned this one over, I saw that it was actually marked. Probably not going to come up on camera too well, but on the end of the catch here, it is marked 10K. So this one is 10 karat gold, and it's really beautiful. So this, was worth the price of the lot alone. So beautiful. I love the design of this one. These really beautifully done leaves and that tiny little pearl. So beautiful. So this was a nice surprise. I love this piece. Those are all of the pins that were in that lot. Some of these other tiny pins and stick pins I've had in my collection. So this was just sort of how I was displaying them in my case. So yeah, so this was sort of a smaller haul today, but I wanted to share these pins with you. And if you have any more information for me about either the function or the date on any of these pins, I would love to hear from you. I recently picked up a few reference books on Victorian jewelry as well as Art Nouveau and deco pieces. So I'm excited to start reading through those and learning a little bit more, especially as I've been collecting items. So yeah, I hope this was fun to watch. Let me know if you had a favorite piece. For me, this one's really hard. I have a lot of favorites here. I do love the little Bakelite bug. He's just so fun and charming, I think. That one is pretty cool. As far as the pins go, the 10 karat pin, of course, but this floral enamel pin I just think is so charming and beautiful. These pieces always remind me of stained glass, and I just think this one's stunning. And this morning brooch too, just really, really cool. I don't have a piece like this in my collection yet, so this was a fun find. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will be back soon with some more jewelry. So please consider subscribing if you are a fellow jewelry lover, and I will see you in the next one.